Hello everybody. Have you ever wondered how I make my memes? Or have you ever wanted to make your own memes? Maybe you're unsure how to make the UI or the sort of processes behind making them. Well, sit back and relax because I'm going to show you how I make some of my memes. Now, I won't go through everything I was thinking of making this episodic because going through the whole process might take some time, plus people's skills may vary on the software, so I may just do one part. If you do like it, please let me know, and I will go the full shebang and show you how to make a meme step by step. But before we get into the video, a quick word from today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Opera GX. Opera GX is a gaming browser that's dedicated and designed for players. And what's great about this is you don't need to worry about Chrome eating all of your RAM when you're trying to play a video game or when you're trying to watch your stream, as we all know how much RAM Chrome tends to eat. You know what's great about Opera GX is you can fully customize your web browser, giving it a unique appeal that suits you. With a simple click of the top right corner, you can fully customize the color, design of your web browser. You can change the color to make it light, dark, or even add your own custom picture. Opera GX is now available for mobile phones too, which come with all the similar features that are available on the desktop version. You can customize your appearance, or you could even add a custom picture. The mobile phone version even includes an ad blocker and an anti-crypto miner. Opera GX offers a variety of easy-to-use features to fully customize your web browser with simple and easy functions, such as the GX control panel. This will help you enhance the performance of your PC while gaming, with your browser open, and get rid of the lag while playing games and listening to music. With its simple and easy-to-use panel, you can limit how much RAM or CPU your browser can use. So if you have a low-end PC or if you want to optimize your gaming, you can simply customize the tab right here. You could also use this browser to limit the network bandwidth. With a comparison to other web browsers, as you can see, Opera GX tends to be a bit more efficient with the ability to customize the bandwidth usage. Other web browsers on the Mac don't even give you the ability to customize how much RAM, how much CPU can be used, or even how much bandwidth you can use. The browser also has a GX corner. This shows you all the latest games that are due to be released and the cheapest place where to buy them. It also shows you all of the free available games that are due to be released, such as the Epic Store, Steam, and also the games that are due to come out on Game Pass. So gamers, why settle for less? You don't need to lower the quality of that 4-hour lo-fi hip-hop that you're watching just so you can watch Dr. Disrespect on high quality. Go and install Opera GX, the link is in the description below. Also, did I mention that it comes with AdBlock? Yeah, it also comes with AdBlock, which is fantastic, which I must say, because it doesn't need an additional download, it just comes with Opera GX. So what are you waiting for, guys? Download link is in the description. So guys, before you could even start making memes, you need the software. Now all the video editing software is fantastic, they're all great. I just like Adobe Premiere Pro. I just found it the most easiest, and there's tons of videos online to use, but granted Sony Vegas and the one for Mac, or you could use Filmora, I guess. So all the super mega Chad content creators that you love, like Dorp, Mickey, Juve, Doovs, and I think Ryoru, and I think Doc uses Sony Vegas as well. I think I'm the only one that uses Adobe Premiere Pro. So yeah, maybe my choice might not be the best, but hopefully, you might change your mind seeing me use it. But of course, once you've chosen your software of your choice that you want to use and edit, again, there's tons of tutorials. I will try and do my very best to show you how I use the effects. But again, if you want to advance your skills, tons of stuff on YouTube that can help you. So the second piece of software you need is video recording software. Now, the software I use personally is NVIDIA's own capture software, the GeForce Experience or the Shadowplay. I'd say this is probably the best one I've ever used because you can change the recording, you can change where it goes to, you can change the audio as well, so it separates both files. So if you're recording gameplay and you're recording your voice, you can separate it.
Stand up. There you go.
There we go.
You were dreaming. What's your name?
Yep, separate audio. And you can also change the frame rate, how fast, how much data. It's so easy to use and there's no latency whatsoever. It's probably the best I've ever used. Now I tried to use Streamlabs and other sort of recording software, but I found my rig just started lagging every time I tried to capture software. But I found with Nvidia's own Shadowplay was just so easy, so clean, so crisp. I mean, it's just perfect capture quality. Now I'm not sure if AMD have their own, but fingers crossed to do. If it does, that's great. I'd advise using it. If not, hopefully you have better luck than myself. But if you have a Nvidia graphics card, I highly recommend using this software. It's just so easy to use. Okay, great. We've got the video editing software. We have the ability to capture our gameplay. Let's start making videos. Now, as I originally said, I wanted to make these into like short videos, so it's easy for, let's say, if you're already an intermediate at editing software and you just want some tips of how I make my videos, you could go to the next video. But for this one, I'm going to start it simple. As I said, if I get engagement and you guys love it, please let me know and I will do the rest of this series. I just thought I might as well try outside the box, see if you guys are interested in how I make my memes. Now, what I wanted to start on is how I edit the HUD, because I found it was the most trickiest, but once you've mastered it, it's pretty fun and it makes the video just look 10 times better once you have like a moving stamina bar and a moving health bar. Just makes the video that extra nice. So, of course, to make the HUD, you just need to start the game. Now, once you have the game loaded, you just want to start capturing your software. I highly recommend using the beginning part of the game because it's the most sort of cleanest part you'll ever get the software. Well, the most cleanest part the HUD will look. You don't get any spells at the start of the game. You don't get any, you just have your fists. So it's just a little easier to edit. So what I'm going to do is use the example of my SpongeBob running into a wall meme that I did recently. I'm going to use this as a template to make the UI. I think using this part is a great example to show how to make the UI, how to kind of edit the life bar and the stamina bar as well. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to take our recording and drag it into the box on the left side of the screen. Now, everything that you've placed into your video will be placed on the left hand side. So if you made any recordings, any sort of assets, any sound bites, they'll be all put on the left side of the screen. Now, once we have our recording, you may see in the top part of the left hand corner is you'll see the recording being played back. So you can see here that I've selected the recording that I just made earlier, and I can see that I want a part of the UI there. I want to use this part here just before I select the ring. So what I'm going to do here is just cut a part of that section out, and I'm just going to drag it and drop it into our meme. Perfect. Now, once you've dragged on the recording that we've just made, you realize that it's moving. What we need to do here is stop the animation because we don't need this part of the video, we just want the UI. So what we're going to do is right click and click add frame hold, and that way it'll just freeze any freeze any video. Any video will be playing on our recording, and then once we've done that, we want to go to the effects section here. Now this is the bread and butter of how to make the sort of the health bar and everything move, but that'll just come to play later. But now that we've got it recorded, now that we've got our UI, as you can see, it's kind of layered on top of our recording. So as you can see, my little SpongeBob animation's down here. Let me just drag that down there to make it a little bit easier. As you can see, it's kind of overlapped, and that's not what we want. So what we want to do is we want to use our opacity tool, which is located on the effects controls and just this section here. Now we'll just put a box there as an example, but we're going to be using a pen, and as you can see here, it removes a majority of the background that we don't want. This tool is very useful for, it'll come later on, because I'll just butcher it because I'm trying to talk as well as edit a video. It's not really what I'm used to. Now, as you can see, it's just too small. We need to make this bigger. Now, to make this section a bit bigger is we want to use the positioning tool and the scaling tool just to make it a bit better. So I'm just going to drag it in the middle, and I'm just going to stretch it out a little bit. So what's great is if you click the motion button at the top, you don't have to faff about using the position button. You can kind of stretch it, make it just a bit bigger. There we go. I'm just going to make it, that's perfect. It's just a decent UI. There we go. But of course, as you can see here, there's still a little bit of darkness, and we need to get rid of that. So in order to do so, we just need to use our fine tool and just kind of use this. Yeah, you can use this button here to zoom in. And what's great as well is once you've done this painful part, you can reuse it at any time. Now, as you can see, you could just click on the dots here. Just kind of just get rid of it. Now, as I mentioned about using the pen tool, and we're going to use that because we could just use the pen tool here to mark the sections that we want to keep. Now, the feathering tool here is used to obviously feather whichever you want, but we're going to get rid of it all, and we're just going to drag like on a little bit there, and then we're just going to add 2 sections here, and then we're just going to go slowly around. Now, I know some of you are probably screaming at me saying you could just Photoshop this, you could just use a Photoshop, you know, instead of just doing this hard messing about way around it. You could also be even more crazy and use a tool, well, do what Dot does. Dot kind of, I think he just kind of makes his tools. You could just do it that way. But regardless, once you've gone around and done this, painful, but again, as I said, once it's done, you don't ever need to do this again. I'm quiet now. I shouldn't be quiet because I'm recording this, but there we go. And then we just need to fine tune it to make it look nice and tidy. And then once we just click off this, just some little bits missing there. Let's just fix that. As you can see, it's a little bit messed up there. I'm just gonna fix that out. Oh, make use of your Control Z button, folks. Don't. If you ever mess up, press Control Z. You'll just fix that. You can just backpedal off that. Right. Super. And there we have it. We have our UI. We can kind of stretch that across. Sorry, I'm just going full motion. Great, we have the UI, but of course, as you can see, nothing is moving that's where we get to the next section. So the next part, what we need to do is we need to add a box. So if you're familiar with Morrowind's health, or kind of how the UI looks, it kind of drains like just a bar that appears. So what we need to do is we just need to use this tool down here, which is to add a new item, and select color map. Now, doesn't matter, it'll just kind of keep to what your video is set at. So this video is set at 19 by 1080 by 60 frames, so we'll just click OK, and you can select a color. So in this example we're just going to use black, and you can name it if you wish. You can name it as health bar or drain bar, just to be so as you can see here, I always call it color map. And what you need to do is just drag it on. As you can see here, it kind of just drowns, kind of like my life. I mean, anywho, so what we need to do is we need to click this button at the top called, well, get rid of uniform scale. And what this allows us to do is to adjust the color, well, the color that we just put onto the screen. And so what we need to do is, again, click motion, and you should be able to adjust the scale. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, is we're just going to zoom in and just, well, I'll probably zoom in a little bit more, and we're just going to fine tune the box just so that it fits perfectly. It'll take a little bit of time. You could always fine tune it as well by just, instead of using the motion like this to adjust it, you can always enter values. So if you just get it, went off the screen there. So as you can see, there's a little bit of red. So what I'm going to do is set it to 9.3, maybe 9.4 might be better. Let's go 9.6. No, that's making it bigger. 2.2. Let's keep it at 9.1 because I think we had it right. No, 9.2. So I guess you could, in fact, use my measurements at 9.3. Okay, brilliant. And so you can set it. So with the life bar in Morrowind, it's just static. It doesn't heal over time, not unless you have an item, a permanent effect item. So what we can do is just set a little box here to appear. Now, since I've just set it across the entire video, it'll just stay there. But what we want to do is make this appear as soon as SpongeBob gets hit or hits the wall. So it hits the wall and impact here. So I'm just going to drag the bar there. Oh no, maybe a bit further. Perfect. So it appears there. But of course, anybody can do this. We need to do the bar draining now. So we want to do the bar as SpongeBob is walking, and as he walks, the bar starts to drain. You know, as Morrowind is infamous for, is the stamina bar draining as soon as you just start walking. So what we're going to do here is just take another one of these. So you can always control C and V and clone it, and we're just going to drag the position down to the fatigue bar. Again, zooming in helps. Yeah, that's lined perfect, and we just want to slowly decrease it. We could put it at 0, that's fine. Well, actually 1 point. We could add 1 point just so we know where we're going. Or 2 points. There we go. So as you can see here, it's just a tiny little bar there. We're just going to place it there. Perfect. Oh, now the next part is we're going to use these functions here, like these timed toddle, where you can toddle the animation to appear at set times. So what you want to do is click these two buttons. So this will essentially start an animation. So let's say, for example, if I drag it down a couple of frames and I stretch the scale bar and go back, you can see that the bar tends to appear over time. But of course, I'm just showing it as an example, that's just being too drastic. What we want to do is for it to stop at a time here. So we're just going to engage. So let's just say SpongeBob's stamina drains quite quick. So we're just going to move. Oh, we also want to click the position as well. So once you click the position, you'll mark where it stays as well. So these are your motion capturing parts. So if we just drag that here, as you can and now if we just go back, it looks like SpongeBob's stamina bar is draining as he walks. Now, and what you would do to kind of simulate his stamina generating over time, what I tend to do is I take that point, so I'll just drag it a little bit. I take that point of where it's take these points and just kind of drag it back, because essentially it's just reversing. As you can see there, it just kind of reverses. Let me just drag that. As you can see, the stamina regains. It drains and then it kind of fills up over time. Granted, Morrowind stamina doesn't drain. Sorry, it doesn't recover that quick. But of course, with time, or with your set skills, you can of course adjust it to increase much faster. God, I'm rambling now. What am I doing? Anyway, but you get the point. Is you can set it to adjust. So if we just play. So if we just play it back. Sorry, I just decreased the quality. Now, looking good so far, and as you can see, stamina slowly starts to recover. But granted, you could always slow it down by just increasing the bar. So let's just, sorry, you can slow it down by increasing the duration. So let's see if we just stretch that out a little bit and take that fatigue bar and drag it back. As you can see, it's slowly recovering. So that gives you the sort of simulation of a Morrowind stamina bar recovering. But of course, we're not complete there. This is again what me just kind of dragging the boxes across. You can of course fine tune it properly instead of just having like a large box. So let's just keep it towards our 12-second frame. As you can see, it's just, oh, I guess you could just drag it back and it fixes it. But you can always adjust it and add points there. So let's say it comes at 5.7. You can always set points here to adjust it properly. So you don't have to do what I just did and drag it across. You can fine tune it. Oops, I hit the mic. You can always fine tune it and adjust it properly. So you don't need to go ahead and do that. But that's just a nice easy way if you wish to not overcomplicate things by fine tuning it perfect. That's just like a cheat way that I just showed you. Okay, so the next part is, again, it's looking good so far, but we're missing one vital part, and that's the little red circle that appears when you take damage in Morrowind. So to do that effect, again, some people use like sort of, they'll take like a blood stain from like a picture or Photoshop it. I just use the colour map. So what I do is I'll use the colour map and I'll just use a red. So I'll use like a 10 to kind of keep it with a dark red. again, just the same. You can name it blood if you want to, and just drag it on. But of course, we want to do it when SpongeBob takes damage. And of course, with the bloodstain effect, it only just appears for a split second once you take damage. And so how I achieve the effect is, of course, we want it to appear and disappear as soon as SpongeBob takes damage. And how I achieve that effect is I just make a circle. And I just kind of drag, granted I could do a circle, I could just use the pen. Just drag a circle around. And just give it that UI effect. And just drag it around. Granted, I'm probably doing this the other way, but this is just one way to achieve that effect. It's just to make a massive circle around. And of course, since it disappears for a split second, it's not going to affect, or it's not going to make it look too sort of obscured. Let's just increase the size. Let's just move it. Let's just increase the scale. There we go. So it appears as soon as SpongeBob takes damage. We'll just shorten the time frame. But it doesn't look fully, so what I tend to do is this panel here, you get effects. So I'm just going to use a video. So this sort of section I'll come to at a later date. But what I do here is I use a video transition effect to make it appear and disappear. I think it's not gradient wipe, is it? No, because it's not gradient wipe. I'm trying to remember which one I use. It's not chroma leak. Well, chroma leak's good actually. Could use that one. It just appears and it disappears, which we want it to do. Just increase the scale a little bit. There we go, perfect. And that is how you can, again, you could use chroma effect, but it just appears and just disappears straight away. And it looks clean. So let me just go to the one that I made over here. Which one do I use over here? As you can see here, I kind of fine-tuned it and made it a bit cleaner. Oh yeah, I guess you could use it as a box. Use the box and do the outside. And the effect I use over here is a VR chroma leak for it to appear and disappear. But you get the idea what I was trying to do there. I was trying to make a circle. Because again, once you get here, it kind of appears like a circle around the edge. Kind of still achieving that effect. But there we have it, guys. That is how we kind of make the UI. I know it's kind of I rambled a little bit, but hey, I hope you guys somewhat enjoyed it. But as I said, I will move on to the more sort of intermediate or sort of advanced ways I kind of use, or how to make a meme in that sense. But hopefully we can start small, making the UI, and eventually work our way into making a meme. Okay, I hope this rambling video. God, I should have really planned this properly, but I think doing it too professional just doesn't work. I guess when people see it how it works, we'll see someone make it like this kind of works. But I hope you get the idea. I hope you guys may have enjoyed it and learned something. If you do, please let me know. And hopefully, if I do a episode 2, I might plan it a little bit better. and maybe he'll write a script. But I think there's a bit of a charm showing my method in my madness. But yep, thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this guide. Thank you. See you soon.